foundationally, Pop, in his heart, wants to be a great defensive team. We recruited Bruce at the time that Kobe Bryant was kicking our ass.
He carried himself with a swag that just exuded confidence.
Bryant for three. Yes. Bryant guarded by Ginobili out front. Kobe pulls up, fakes the jumper, now takes one over Manu, and that one is good for Kobe Bryant.
I know that part of the reason why that Bruce Bowen is part of the San Antonio Spurs is for Kobe.
That was the target matchup as we walked into Bruce, was how do we guard Kobe?
So, I have a confession to make. I make a lot of these videos where I claim that a guy is the most underrated player of all time, or the greatest wing defender of all time, or various different titles like that. And then I often change my mind a month or maybe 6 months later, because as you learn more about the game, your perspective changes. And the title I'm giving this player of the most underrated defender of all time is certainly a title that has a lot of guys competing for it. With that being said, this is the guy who I think deserves that title the most for now. I'm talking about the former San Antonio Spurs small forward, Bruce Bowen. Now, I think there's a few reasons why he doesn't get more love. For one, he wasn't an all-star player, so he obviously didn't demand much attention. On top of that, this league romanticizes the offensive end of the court, so if you're a one-way defensive player, you tend to get overshadowed. The second reason is he was probably the dirtiest player of his era, arguably the dirtiest player of all time. Trust me, guys like Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter know all about this, as he would step on their foot, place his foot underneath them when they were landing, which he specifically did to Carter so many times that Vinsanity nearly lost his sanity altogether. And the third reason is because Tim Duncan, his own teammate, was a more high-profile player. And when we look at the San Antonio Spurs in hindsight, people are always talking about the fact that Tim Duncan was robbed of a Defensive Player of the Year award, since he had 15 All-Defense Team selections but never once won the award. So if all of the attention is on Duncan's overlooked defense, then there really isn't any left for Bruce Bowen. With that being said, this wing defender was a massive part of the Spurs dynasty, and in some ways that people don't even realize. All the time, people talk about how defenses were gearing up to stop Shaquille O'Neal in the early 2000s. But as you guys saw in the intro of this video, that wasn't the case for the San Antonio Spurs, as they had plenty of bigs to compete with Shaq. They recruited specifically Bruce Bowen to stop Kobe Bryant, and for good reason. They acquired Bowen in the summer of 2001, and in the playoffs just prior to that, Kobe had averaged 33 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists on 51% shooting from the field, where the Lakers went on to sweep the Spurs. Now with Bowen in the lineup, the San Antonio Spurs had the tools necessary to make things more complicated for Kobe Bryant, which played a major part in why they were able to beat the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round in 2003. Which was the end of the Lakers' dynastic run. Something else that people usually forget or just never knew in the first place is that Bruce Bowen was the Defensive Player of the Year runner-up for 3 straight seasons from 2005 to 2007, and each and every one of those years he finished ahead of Tim Duncan. Yes, I do believe that the big fundamental was not appreciated enough for his defensive impact during the Spurs dynasty days. But with that being said, there was a significant stretch of time where Duncan wasn't even viewed as the best defender on his own team, and that's because of the existence of Bruce Bowen. By the way, during those 3 straight runner-up finishes for the DPOY award, 2 of those were very close losses to the all-time great defender, Ben Wallace, who is a big man who is tied for the most DPOYs in NBA history. I believe the crowning moment of Bruce Bowen's defensive legacy should be the 2007 NBA Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he completely shut down a young LeBron James who was on an absolute tear leading up to that series. In that 4-game sweep of the NBA Finals, LeBron averaged only 22 points per game on a dreadful 35.7% from the field. Now, people really like to downplay this defensive performance from Bruce Bowen, As if it was easy for the Spurs to shut down LeBron, since they could focus their entire defense on him, seeing that LeBron didn't have any superstar support. But if that was the case, then why couldn't the Pistons do the same thing just one round earlier in the Eastern Conference Finals? The Pistons were known for their elite defense and even had one of the best wing defenders of that era in the 6'9" Tayshaun Prince. With his length, size, and tenacity, Prince should have been the perfect candidate to contain LeBron. But in those Eastern Conference Finals, LBJ averaged 25.7 points on 45% shooting, including one of the greatest playoff performances of all time, where he scored his Cleveland Cavaliers' final 25 points of Game 5. I think it's fair to say that we just don't give Bruce Bowen enough credit for the ways he contained LeBron in the 2007 NBA Finals. Then you look at the totality of his resume, and Bruce Bowen is an 8-time All-Defender. That's second all-time in most All-Defense team selections by a small forward. The only small forward in NBA history with more All-Defense team selections is Scottie Pippen. And you guys already know the ways Pippen is revered for his all-time great perimeter D. There may be some good excuses for why Bowen is overlooked, like the ways people don't look too kindly on his slimy, dirty antics. But for a guy to be a part of a dynasty, and to be the runner-up for 3 straight seasons for the DPOY award, to now never be mentioned in the conversation of the greatest defensive players of all time is quite shocking to me, to say the least. That certainly warrants him getting some serious consideration for the title of the most underrated defender in the history of the league. So what do you guys think? Who is your choice for the most underrated defensive player of all time? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.